Hello, Mioni here, and you see me in front of Game Dev Tycoon, a game where you get to make your own video games. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Imagine then, just for a second, you've built a time machine in 2020 because, 2020 is not going too well, is it? Let's be honest, right? But leaping into said time machine, you could go anywhere. You could go millions of years into the past or the future, not that you would want to at this point. But yeah, imagine for a second that none of that's interesting to you. And actually you go back to the year of 1984. And the reason you go back there is because you're just on the cusp, the turning angle of some of the best JRPGs that were ever released in the history of time. So here we go. We're going to jump back to the 90s. We're going to impart some future knowledge into Squaresoft in my alternate universe playthrough of what it would be like to run Squaresoft back in 1984. Without further ado, let's see how much damage we can do. So here we are. We're in a garage. This is sort of familiar thing for anybody who makes games ever. I'm pretty sure it was going to look the same like this in Japan back in 1984, and we are indeed going to be Squaresoft. Or maybe we should alter this a little so that we don't infringe too much, because this is the alternate universe. A slight decision here, a slight decision there, and simply before you know it, you could be called Circlesoft. Let's go with that. And we're going to be, I can't remember the dude who formed it now. We're going to call ourselves Mioni, right? Because why not? Mioni, yeah, strong independent female character with black hair. Ooh, I quite like that shirt actually. And a red shirt, because red shirts always die first, right? So let's go with that. Unlock hints. Yes. Let's go with that. So we actually start back then. There's no ability to pause. This is back in, we're going to say it's 1984, but we all know that the game runs on something different. So our first ever project, our first ever game at Circlesoft. So the original Squaresoft game was a game called The Death Trap, which is a text adventure video game, which was it was only released in Japan, as far as I know, for the NEC PC 8801 in December 1984. So we're going to go for the same idea. We're going to call it the Life Trap, because obviously alternate universe. So this is a text adventure. In terms of a topic, this is a bit where we're going to get a little bit unparalleled, because there's no way of actually remotely unlocking any of those particular genres this early. So text adventure video game, we're going to do it about thieves. No. Let's do it about a spy text adventure game called The Life Trap, and it's going to be a adventure game, and it's going to be for the PC, and that's what we're going to make here. It's going to be text-based. We don't need no 2D graphics in this one. Who needs 2D graphics in 1984? Not me, that's for sure. At the same time then, I believe, here we go. So development stage 1. So our game is going to be very much heavily focused on story. It's a Squaresoft game. Obviously, that's where they get all of their sort of inspiration from, right? It's all going to be story-based. The gameplay is going to be pretty pap because it's early level, and the engine's going to be even worse. So our focus on story and quest better follow on. Right? This really better carriers. We're getting some research points. We're going to put those straight into a new genre when we can, which will be applicable. So far, we're scratching our head. There we go. So we've got little hints from the previous stuff, but this is pretty much self-explanatory, right? We want the dialogue to be really important. The AI is awful. The level design is, it's just text, right? We don't really need level design. So let's focus heavily on dialogue. Simply just because, there's no pictures in this game, baby. It's going to be good, right? Unlike the original game, which apparently was not particularly brilliant. What we got here, we've got world design, graphics. So world design in terms of writing is very important. Graphics, again, not important. Sound is awesome. Like when it comes to development of text adventure games, bleeps and bloops, we love it, right? Let's see what we can get. So we've got 3 bugs already that we need to squish. We can't release a buggy game. We're not the actual Squaresoft. And there we go. Ooh, we get an extra technology. Oh, let's get that to 11. Nice. Turn that dial up to 11. Let's see what we get then. Okay. Right, that's not a bad little game, that. Not a bad little game. We're not going to trash it. So whilst that's going on to the market... Oh, we got a reviews, actually. For Life Trap, let's see. So we got a solid... Oh, we got a solid 6 from Star Games. We got a 6 from Informed Gamer. That's pretty good. 6 from Shows Game Hero. Yeah, they're all copying each other at this point. It's very much like real life. As soon as somebody says a 9, everybody, including IGN, puts 9, don't they? They're focused on well-designed service game very well. So our first ever game was a 6. That's above average. That ain't too bad. So the second game that they ever made at Squaresoft was The Death Trap 2, which was known as Will The Death Trap 2. So yeah, it was basically on the same stuff. It was in 1984. They released this in June. So, yeah, it really was pretty much the same engine, the same game. It was just extra levels and stuff. So I guess since we can't unlock sequels, we have to make the same one. But, so if it's Will... No, let's call it Frank. The Life Trap 2. Electric Chocobo. Oh, we can't put that. Life Trap 2. All right, we got a topic here. We're going to go for Spy again. Yes, it's another adventure game. It's on the PC. Let's go. Some more text-based crap. The game received favorable reviews. With such a good start at Circlesoft, sure to gain fans quickly. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're like losing money, hemorrhaging it every time. So we're going to focus on the same crap again. It's pretty much the same game. We sold 4,029 units in the first week, and we're in number 39 in the charts. See, look, we're already changing. We're already changing the past here. The Life Trap was so successful. We have 30 fans. Oh my god, that's more than this YouTube channel, right? But we're up to like 70-something subs for some reason. I'm not sure why. Dialogue, yeah, go for it. It's the same game. Literally the carbon copy of the same game. There's nothing that's ever changed with this. We're not righting those wrongs. Some wrongs can't be rewritten, that is. We're going to have lots of bugs as well. Oof. That's going to slow down development sort of release. So we've got 10,000 units sold. That's pretty good for Circlesoft. Let's get rid of some of those bugs though, because, again, we're not fond of our bugs. There we go. Solid 10s, look at that. 10-10. So we're not really getting a lot of success with this, but look at the levels we're getting. We're leveling up pretty quickly. Our XP is rising. So how is this going to do then? Frank for Life Trap 2 came in, and it got completely obliterated. Waste of time. Yeah, it's because it is essentially the same game again. This is why you do not release basically the same game with just a few extra levels and a few different pixels here and there within the same exact year. And this is actually a lot like how the original went, only the first game was not very good either. I was going to say trash, but that's a bit harsh. So the third game that we ever released at Squaresoft then is Dragon Slayer, which is an action role-playing game. And this was developed by Nihon Falcom and designed by Yoshio Kaya. It was released in 1984 for the same sort of PC, 8801, and became a major success in Japan. It was followed by an MSX port published by Square in 1985. So this next one did really well. This is the turning point. Okay, this is the turning point where we discover then at Squaresoft that we're actually good at making RPGs. Now, I don't think we have, I mean, we can't get RPG or anything like that. We can get space. That's not really going to help us. We're going to have this really unusual alternate future develop here. Okay, so let's develop a new game. We're going to call this one then. If it's Dragon Slayer, let's call it Dragon Seducer. That's, I mean, we're not slaying the dragons, we're seducing them, right? We're becoming one with the dragon. Shiva knows exactly what I'm talking about here with Horace Velga. So we're going to do a thief because we're stealing the dragon's heart, right? We're stealing that emotional attention from the dragon. It's going to be an RPG. Actually, what was it? It was an action RPG. So I guess since we don't have the ability to choose both, we'll have to like flip a coin or something. Do I have a coin? No, we'll just pretend that it landed on RPG because it makes most sense. So in 1985 was the first ever Squaresoft RPG, an action RPG. I want to go and play that now, but apparently this was a massive success. Did it have any decent graphics? Not really. I mean, it did have 2D graphics. Okay then, that's what we're going to spend our money on. It's going to be a graphical marvel. In terms of an RPG, story and quest is still stupidly important. The engine is less so because we're running on like awful hardware, so it's not going to be any good anyway in terms of bugs and stuff. But if we focus on storyline, that's pretty much what carried Squaresoft, in my opinion. Dialogue, yeah, level design, artificial intelligence is pretty useful for battles and such. Let's go for a bit more level design, but obviously dialogue is important for an RPG. Or is it though? Half of the RPGs I played back then, you know, in the 90s, were pretty much tragic when it came to the translation that we got in the West. So, graphical, yeah. Sound is always good though. I don't understand this as well because it's given me a hint that graphics are more important for this genre combination than sound, but that might be because I chose Thief. But even so, an RPG, I think sound design was better than the graphics anyway. No, we're going to go for that. My gut instinct. It just sounds better to me to have that sort of setup. Oh, there we go. Rumors of the Japanese company Ninvento, sorry, not Nintendo, definitely not that, is launching its own gaming console. Now, that's pretty good because the next thing we're actually releasing is a game called Thexter, which is a run and gun shooty game that launched on the NES. So surprisingly, this is the time is actually following quite close. All right then, so let's get Dragon Seducer out there, and then I think we've got a bit of a gap before it comes out, right? Unless we do a game report or something. Okay, so we got a nice new record on this. That's because we went for the nice visual upgrade here. Let's do a game report on that game. Screw the other games, right? Oh no, we can't. Let's do the Life Trap, do a game report on that whilst we wait. So Dragon Seducer's reviews came in, and we've got, oh come on, please be a high number. Oh, look at that. Thief and RPG is a great combination. Thank you, Star Games. Are we all just going to get 7s? We're going to get 777? Yes, we are. Can we get 7,770? Yes, lucky 7s. How perfect is that? Enjoyable, says Game Hero. How good is that review? Yes, I'm going to put that on the front of my game case. It was enjoyable, yes. It wasn't the best, but it was enjoyable. Their focus on story and quest service game very well. Thank you very much. Let's get a game report going on that old one, get some more research so we can get some other points. We need to do some research on other things, mostly topics. I mean, we've got to get space at this point. I think Thexter was pretty much space related. There was mechs involved and stuff, so I guess we're going to go off of that. Pretty much, it was like a mecha sort of thing. Here we go. Oh, it's coming next year. So we've got a bit of space, actually, to develop something if we wanted to, or we could just keep getting more research, which might be good considering we have 136 grand and 26 research points. So go until the research points drop off, and then we'll make, I guess, a filler game, which is something they never were able to do in this sort of time frame, which is quite interesting. What else have we got here? We've got mythology. Mythology will serve as well. I don't know if Square has actually ever made a mythological game about like stuff like that. I know there's obviously references in games from mythology, but I guess it's better than nothing, right? We need that in the bag. Wow, stop scratching your head and start typing. Jeez. There we go. Right. We've researched that. We've got 16 more points. That's enough for another research. Technology. Let's go for an aeroplane game because we do actually have some side-scrolling shooters, I believe, that Square made. Not very popular ones, I think, but it would be an idea to probably make some of those as well. There we go. So we're down to 6 research points. We've got to develop something, or we could do contract work, get some points that way. Let's do some contract work. Let's work on some library software. Just as I do that, we've got the TES, the totally efficient sausage. I don't know what they're going for. It's a Nintendo Entertainment System. It's finally released. So pretty much then, we can start work on Thexter, or whatever they want to call it, which is a run and gun game, which we don't have access to. So let's just make something. So this is going to be called, if the original was Thexter, I don't even know how to do a witty pun on that. Generic mech shooter 1. There we go. Because that's exactly what it was, right? It's going to be a space-based game because that's the closest we have. We don't have shooter. I guess it's just an action game then. And we'll put that on the TES. We need to spend 80 grand to get the license. See, look, we only have 114 and we're already spending 80 of it. And we're going to use another... Oh, we can't. Look, we need 40 grand. We're going to go into the red to make this. This is very Square, isn't it? Going into the red to actually try and make a new game. Let's go for it. Yeah, we're minus 5.6k. In terms of this, though, engine's pretty important and the storyline is awful, right? So gameplay and a decent-ish engine. Let's go for that. Your bank account is in the red. Well, you know. Apparently we can go into minus 50k before we're in trouble. Oh dear. So dialogue, awful. Artificial intelligence. I mean, you want decent adapting shooty stuff. And the dialogue can be like, you kill me. Aha, I die now. That's pretty much how it would be translated anyway, so it can be at the bottom. Level design is always important in a shooter, right? Or an action game like this. Or run and gun, sorry. So we're going to go with that. Come on. I can't wait until we have a whole lot of staff to do this stuff. World design, sound is amazing in those old school shooters. World design is okay. Let's go for full graphics. Let's blow people's minds with, you know, the Nintendo Entertainment System's pure powerhouse in comparison to the MSX. And we have 12. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. 13, 12. Lovely, new records. Got a level up in gameplay, all world design, and we leveled up ourselves. Let's get that bad boy out there because we're nearly 10 grand in debt. Come on, generic mech shooter number 1. Give us a good go. Oh, we got a 7 again. What is it with 7s? Is it because I'm playing the game? Yeah, there's another 7. Come on, another 7. Yeah. Oh, really old games. You had to break it. You had to break the luckies. Oh, that's not good, man. We're going to get a negative income based on that. We're already selling 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we sold 9k units in the first day. That's pretty good. That ain't bad. Whilst we're doing this, let's do a game report on Dragon Seducer because it got perfect 7s and it deserves a decent report. So we have some more stuff going forward. We get some research points so we can get some new stuff. The second game that they made then after this point was for the PC 8801 again. So they went back to the license they already had. It was very expensive to develop for the NES, right? So we have Cruise Chaser Blasty. Cruise Chaser Blasty. Interesting. This was a science fiction role-playing video game developed by Square for various Japanese computers. The game featured mecha originally designed by Mika Akitaka and musical contributions by Nobuo Uematsu. Wow. Okay, that's why Cruise Chaser is referenced then in Alexander. Interesting then. Very interesting references for Final Fantasy XIV then. For this previous game. So science fiction RPG. Wow, I've never played that. And that was released in 1986, so we're going to have to smash that out. Let's make that. Let's do that. So if it's called Cruise Chaser Blasty, let's call it just Cruising chaser. Not blasty. Yes, how original. It's like knockoff, isn't it? So what are we going for? It's like an RPG, a science fiction one. We don't really have science fiction unlocked. That's the problem for topic. Can we research that quickly before we start making a game? Science fiction, we can go for technology. Let's get technology and maybe that'll unlock one. We have 20 points. It has a good chance of giving us what we want, right? Hopefully. We've got 165 grand again. I mean, we've not really made any profit in the past few years that we've been on the market, but, you know, there is that. Come on. Come on. Finish that research. There we go. We've got 20 research. What can we get? The next one is pirate. I mean, I guess, right? Did Square Enix ever make a pirate game? Did Squaresoft ever make a pirate? Did Enix ever make a pirate game? I'm not sure pirates was really like a thing that was big in Japan. I could be wrong. I don't remember any. Come on, give us science fiction. We got aliens. I mean, we could go with aliens, right? It's our last 10 research points. So this is going to be an alien-related RPG. That's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah, we're definitely not following in their footsteps directly, are we, at this point? Come on, then. Oh, yeah, okay. We don't care about industry reports. We're Squaresoft, damn it. We're only interested in cold hard profit, right, and making sequels. So, yeah, that's a bit harsh, actually, now I think about it. So this was, what did we call this? Cruising chaser, not blast. Not blasty, there we go. And this was I mean, we're going to make an alien RPG here. This is going to be curious, to say the very least. I'm going to put that on the original PC again, because apparently we wanted to, and this is going to be, was it? I mean, it was pretty much quite advanced, actually. 2D graphics. It had Nobuo Uematsu. I really want to play this now. Yeah, we can create our own game engine if we wanted to. So storyline-wise, yes, the engine's not going to be so good, right? So let's focus on heavy story, good gameplay follow-up, because we've leveled up both of those, and we get pluses towards them for this particular genre, thanks to our research. And let's see here. So dialogue, very important in an RPG. AI is never that great. Level design, yeah, go for that. Okay, science fiction role-playing game. So was it a little bit like Shadowrun or something? Very, very interested now. I really want to just go and play it. There's so few games that I've played from Square Enix's past, like Squaresoft. I keep calling them Square Enix. Let's go for world design, obviously. Nice graphics, decent-ish music though. It's Nobuo Uematsu, so it has to be a decent thing. I can't do the guy injustice, or unless the alternate universe Squaresoft has like a really, really terrible version of him that doesn't know how to play a piano. That would be nightmare fuel. I don't want to live in that world. Ah dear. So we've got 18 on design and 10 for technology. That's going to let us down because we're using old tech. This is what happens if you release this on the Nintendo that they had the license to, which was superior. They probably would have got better. Imagine if they had released that on the Nintendo Entertainment System, like an extra RPG. It would never come to the West anyway, right? That's what we're forgetting here. So we've got 16 points of research. I guess we should do target audience research. That's kind of important. Come on then, hit me with your reviews. What did we get? Oh, an 8. Oh, a 9. My goodness. RPG games work well on PC. Well, yeah, they do. But imagine, though, RPG games do work on a Nintendo as well. This is pretty decent scores, actually. Really decent. Almost perfect. Really? Okay. This is definitely an alternate universe. Vena are confirmed. The Master... Oh, yes, the Master System, basically. Interesting. I don't think we had any releases on that. See, Squaresoft was pretty much a Nintendo, you know, they were joined at the hip for most of their releases, all the way through the 90s, pretty much. Well, all the way through the 80s, and then most of the 90s. They didn't really go away from PCs or the Famicom, you know. So, yeah, it's not surprising to me. We won't need to purchase many licenses. Let's go for that basically through this playthrough until like basically when the PlayStation came out essentially, and they had this massive falling out interior with the current CEO, I believe it was, of Squaresoft, had a massive disagreement with the dude behind Nintendo at the time. And they didn't release games for it after that point, which was really interesting. And we went through a whole spate of Final Fantasy games never being on a Nintendo for the longest time. Only more recently, with the change of staff, did we see sort of stuff like the Final Fantasy VIII game and, the remake, or whatever you want to call it, remaster, but with like Final Fantasy IX and stuff. The only reason we have those on the Switch is because we didn't have them on the previous consoles because of that problem being, you know, going on for so many years, I think it was like a decade of arguments before they finally buried the hatchet when a new CEO of Square Enix came in, which is quite interesting to me, at least. So what are we going to do here now? So we got 284k. We've got Cruise Chaser basically on the market. The next game they released was for the PC again, for the 8801, which was Alpha. It's an interactive fiction and a rogue game developed and published by Square. That's a visual novel. That's another way of saying visual novel. I don't think we have... oh, look, we've got the target audience. So visual novel for everyone, or should we make a mature? Let's go full guns blazing and make the first ever mature game of the time. That would have gone down very poorly with shareholders, I would imagine. Simply because, oof. So, generic visual novel. I can't type today. Alpha. Yes, that works quite well, actually. So we're going to go for, what's its theme? It doesn't really say. It's just, I without doing extra research, let's go for a mythology visual novel, because we've got that license and apparently it's trending. We're going to go for, I guess it's an adventure, really, isn't it? Strategy, actually, because it's always a strategy to see how many of the anime waifus you can get in the knickers of, right? You've got to get inside the knickers of as many of these young girls as humanly possible. I'm going to release this on the PC because, there we go. 2D graphics, because you like anime titties. You need as many of those as humanly possible, let's be honest. Story, I guess. There's not really much gameplay. That's stuff you do externally from the keyboard and mouse. The engine, let's give it a decent engine and a decent story. Let's go for that. Generic visual novel Alpha. Oof. How harsh is that? We're not even at 1/10 of the way through the 80s. That's how ridiculous this is. Even though this is, 86 nearly, I think we're at. 1986 we're up to. Artificial intelligence, there's not really much, is there? Level design, dialogue. Dialogue's kind of important for a visual novel, even though it's going to be throwing points against me. The fact that I went for mythology strategy as a combo. Oh well, what can we do? Sound design, sure, we need the moans of the little girls as loud as possible, right? That's what we're going to go for. Oh dear, world design, it could be in a box as long as the characters look good, right? Just film it against a brick wall, sorted. Or like the basement. Hi, I'm Steve O'Connell, a reporter for Planet GG. Yeah, we're going to give you an interview, why not? Thank you for your time. Well, I didn't get to choose what I said, so that's going to be interesting. I hope you got my good side. It's working on its first game targeted for mature players. Oh, that's why. Owner of CEO of Squaresoft said, "We think that players are looking for more mature content in games, and we're willing to take the risk to give it to them." Oh yeah, we're willing to take that risk. Give it to our fans. Let's see how the market reacts. Oh, we got Hype. Hype my porno game. Do it. Oh yeah, solid 10 and a 14. I think that's it's not quite the highest design we've had, but this is probably going to crash and burn quite easily. Oh dear, that's not a good sound. Disappointing. You're disappointing. What do you expect? They shouldn't forget about world design. Why? The characters are more important. Waste of money. Oof. Not bad, but not good. I mean, that's most visual novels, right? You don't really get the full fulfillment out of playing them anyway. They're just sort of like there to pass a bit of time. I can't stand them unless they've got like some kind of mature audience rating on the side of them. I'm not that bothered about them. So what we got? We got King's Knight coming up next. So this is an action adventure. King's Knight is quite a good game. It's pretty much what Shovel Knight was based on, if I remember correctly, that kind of aesthetic. You know, the saving the princess, heavy metal sort of stuff, and beautiful sort of chiptune music. So action adventure we can definitely do. But let's do a bit of research if we can. We can make it a... Let's research vampire for no particular reason. Can't remember if there's any vampire games until like the 2000s from Squaresoft. That generic visual novel is not doing well. We lost fans. Oof. Oh well, it's fine. They'll love this one instead. So this will be for everyone. And this will be King's Janitor. Because, you know, not quite a knight, right? Alternate universe. Didn't quite make it. And this will be mythology. Let's go for a mythology adventure game. And this will be on... Where did this release? Oh, this actually released on the NES as well. Thank goodness for that. I was going to say, we just got this license and we've not used it. Full 2D graphics, baby. You know, crank that baby up to 11. Story and quest, very important for an adventure game. Gameplay's important. The engine's all right. Not as important though as a good storyline. I'm just trying to imagine what King's Janitor would be like. There's like a knight that's failed on the floor, and he's like ran out of people to ask. So the king's like, "Hey, you clean my floors, right? Do you want to go and do this?" He's like, "Oh, I guess if I have to." It's like, we don't have any swords left, so you'll just have to use your broom. So it's just like brooming a dragon in the face to save the princess. A bit like Shovel Knight, really, isn't it? With the idea of a shovel, but with a broom. I'd go for that. So we've just got new research unlocked for casual games. Casual games from Squaresoft in the 80s? Are you kidding me? Ooh, unsuccessful introducing high-priced computers. I mean... We'll soon be not developing anything for the computer anyway. There's only like another 4 or 5 games in this sort of time period we develop for a game, for a computer system. It's all like Famicom, baby. So in terms of this sound, world design is important. Let's go for that. We're going to make this the best damn mythology adventure game ever known. King's Janitor. Oh yeah, can't wait. Can't wait to see the reviews on this one. Let's get that baby out there. We've got 23 research points as well to put into something hopefully not as atrocious as Vampire. Yeah, we didn't level anything up yet. That's not going to happen for a while. Whilst this is happening, let's see what we can research. We're not doing casual games. Go away. Evolution, I mean, sure, we could make like a knockoff Spore game. I'm not sure if they ever did that, though. Here we go. King's Janitor. What are we going to get? Come on, give us those 7s. That's not a 7. Come on. Oh, that's not a 7 either. Come on. Higher than a 5. Oh, 5. Come on, give us a 10. I saw that 10. Yeah, good job, all games. You gave us a 6 when everyone else let us down. So it's basically average. That's fine. Average games are pretty good, right? What's average to one person is amazing to another. Oh, they're coming out with the Game Boy already. This is going to be very hard to actually release all the games in their library before this stuff runs out of relevance. My goodness, what have we been doing? We've just been sat here developing crap. So the next game would be, wow, Suisho no Dragon, which is an adventure game, which was under the name DOG for the Famicom. It's got some really nice art on that, actually. I'll let you Google that yourself. Suisho no Dragon. So an adventure game. It looks good. And that's for the Famicom as well. So let's go for that. Kind of looked spacey to me. Shisui of the Dragon Butts. Let's go for that. We'll make this a for everyone game, obviously. And this will be about space. And this will be a space adventure game. And this will be for the TES. And it'll be 2D graphics again. We're just going to... Oh, look at this. We're getting 10,000 units. Lovely. Yeah, adventure games. A bit more gameplay slightly. Go for it. We're at rank 54 with this one. This should give us enough money, maybe. We should be getting close to 300k. That's not bad. Dialogue, I mean, yeah, sure. Level design's important a little bit, though. Should be able to level up some more of this design. We're going heavily into design rather than technology. That's a little bit worrying. We should probably put a bit more into that then. Like this. Yeah, have a nice sounding game. Got 3 bugs, 4 bugs already. Oof. Yeah, so if the Game Boy's actually out, and the first Game Boy game that came out for from Squaresoft wasn't until 1989. Holy moly! And we've got like 30 games that we haven't released yet. Now, either the Game Boys come out earlier in this, or we've literally been, like, at that point, are developing for older stuff because it's cheaper. We're nowhere near Final Fantasy. I'm just letting you know. Shisui of the Dragon Butts came in. Its reviews. We got... What are we getting? Are we going to get, like, 7s, 5s? Fun at stages? I'll take that. I'll take that. And 6 shows potential. You show potential, Informed Gamer. Damn it. There we go. Game Hero. They're the best people here. Lovely. These two, they can come to my party. These two can go to hell at this point. So the next thing we need to do is do some more research because obviously we need more genres. Hacking, I mean, surgery, mad science, I guess. Not that we've got mad science games, but hopefully it'll unlock more stuff to research. Maybe. I don't know how this works. I can't remember. So the next game that we should be developing is actually called Deep Dungeon. Mado Senkai. Deep Dungeon is a series of role-playing games developed by Hummingbirdsoft for Squaresoft. Actually, no. Why does it say Squaresoft next to it? I guess it was in partnership with Square? The first 2 installments were released on the Family Computer Disk System by Square's label, DOG. So it's kind of like they were kind of publishing them? Or using their stuff? Interesting. I guess we'll go with Deep Dungeon. Is that why Palace of the Dead is called a Deep Dungeon then? Is it a reference to Squaresoft in the 1980s? That's quite interesting. So Deep Dungeon was a... What was it? It was a role-playing game. Okay. I mean, why not, right? Why not? Comes out on the Famicom as well. So, Shallow Dungeon. Because alternate universe and all that jazz. And this is a... I mean, what are we going to choose at this point? I guess vampire? We're going to have something different. Otherwise, we're just going to get penalized for choosing the same thing over and over again. And this came out on the TES. 2D graphics. This is still pumping a little bit of money into us. We're over 300k, so that's good. Keep story the same. Wiggle this a little bit. Maybe a bit more engine. We've got Mad Scientist games unlocked. Not that that's going to be very useful. Most of the stuff that's coming out is going to be pretty much RPGs, isn't it? Let's be honest. A bit more level design on this one. A vampire RPG. So is it just a big dungeon that's really shallow? So it's just like a room, basically, with no roof, full of vampires, and that's the entire game. That sounds fun. Graphics, sound, I mean, let's drop the sound a bit. Graphics are more important in this particular game. Don't know how that's going to land. I mean, we're getting more technology points. That sounds good to me. If you have more than 1 million cash, you'll be able to move to your next level. That might sound a lot, but don't worry. Once you hit release a hit game, I can't read apparently, you'll get this amount easily. Or to be honest, oh look, the Game Gear. Oof. That's, yeah, that's... Just go away, I don't care about the Game Gear. We released with bugs. This is what happens. Oh no, our fans are going to be so hateful now. So yeah, we're getting like nearly 500,000 anyway, right? Couple more K and we're pretty much at the halfway mark. I'm not sure how much money they had actually made by this time of release. It's quite interesting. Come on, give Shallow Dungeon a decent score. Come on, has its moments. We got 7 for Beautiful. Oh, lovely. 6. These guys probably haven't played past the bugs anyway. Fun at stages. I think we got marked down heavily because of the bugs in that game. But it is what it is, right? So we're going to keep pumping these games out. That's what we're doing right now. So that was Deep Dungeon. Now we got the 3D Battles of World Runner, which was a third-person rail shooter. There's some really interesting art on it. That was released in March 12th, 1987. So a rail shooter. I don't think we've actually unlocked shooting. We should probably do a bit more research. We're not going to have half of the topics we need. I mean, mystery is a good one to get, actually. So let's quickly research a couple. But yeah, we'll make a rail shooter in a minute. I'm quite excited to play some of these games off of camera. I might actually plug in my capture card and show some of them off. If I can track them down. Might have to do some emulation, but I'll try and get a cartridge so I can emulate them legally. That would be a good idea. Before people suggest that it wouldn't be. Colonization, let's get that. Let's just spend our research points whilst we're waiting for... I mean, we're over 500k from Shallow Dungeon. Yeah, no one cares about the Game Gear, please. No one cares at all about that beautiful system. It was really good, actually. I used to play Fantastic Dizzy on the Game Gear growing up. It was a hand-me-down from my brother. What else can we research here? Rhythm action games. Oh, well, we got Theatre Rhythm later on in history, right? So we need to get that at some point. Probably not in the 80s, but it'd be good to have it at least. I suppose what we could do is, since we have a choice of moving to a new office, we just choose not to until we have all of these games released up to like 1989 or something. That might be an idea. So we need to make 3D Battles of World Runner, which, I mean, I don't know what that would even be. Let's make it for babies. 2D battles of flat earthers. Eartherland. That'll offend somebody somewhere, thankfully. Okay, and that'll be a colonization action game. So, can you imagine a colonization action game? You just appear there and start slaughtering. I suppose that's what Assassin's Creed is, actually, isn't it? That released again on the Nintendo. We're not going to see anything else other than Nintendo until the SNES comes out, which isn't going to be for quite some time. Story's not that important. Gameplay is high up there with a decent engine. Obviously, you need something that can actually not chug under pressure. Have some decent frames. A lot of these old games ran at 60 frames natively as well per second, which still blows my mind to this day, especially when you can't even get 60 frames natively on a PlayStation 4 unless it's a Pro. And even then, yeah, you know what I mean. A lot of these old games were way better designed with a limited hardware. I suppose it was a lot easier to develop for. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. The 2D Battles of Flat Earthland is nearly ready. We're not going to put any bugs in case, you know, Jovador, the creator of a popular G64, has filed for bankruptcy. All good. Well, it's fine. We don't need that anymore, I don't think. We're going to release this 1310. We're not really making many strides because it's not that many new topics happening. But we did level up everything to pretty much most things to level 3 there. Let's see. Come on, give us some good reviews. That's not a good review. Oh no. Uninspiring? Uninspiring? It was plenty inspired. Not bad, not good. We got another bomb. Meh. Imagine if that was on the front of a game case. Perfect. So after that we had Appletown Story. What's Appletown Story? It was also called House on a Disc, is a life simulator game released in 1985 for the Commodore 64. Huh. Interesting. I mean, that's quite surprising, actually. I mean, Squaresoft themselves didn't make it. It was actually made by... No, it was made by Square. So it was developed in-house on April 3rd, 1987. We haven't unlocked LifeSim. We could try and have a look if we can research. I know that is a thing. City's pretty close. It's, you know, a bit close to SimCity, but G64 is gone. No longer supported. Rip in pieces. Rip in pepperoni, my friend. This is selling some decent stuff. We should get back to 500k instantly. There we go. Nice. We're not really hemorrhaging that much money yet. There's still plenty of time for that. One more research chance. What have we got? We've got martial arts. I mean, I guess there is like Dissidia and stuff later on that kind of is a beat 'em up, so maybe that would be helpful. Kinda. I don't know. Right, so the next game is Appletown Story. That's kind of cute sounding. I want to try that out. For everyone, we're going to call it Pear Village Epic. That's like the alternate version of that, I think. And this will be a city... There's no... Oh, city simulation. There we go. So we're basically making Sim City here. It's not exactly like a life sim. I guess it is a life simulator. This will be released on... No, we don't want that. I misclicked that. We'll release this on the original NES again. 2D graphics. Let's go. I don't think I've ever heard of this, which is never a good thing. It probably wasn't that great. The engine's important on here for sure. Story and quest, not so much. The story just has to be, hey, look, this is a city. Build it. We're like, okay. How many paid microtransactions do you want? Well, in the 80s, none, thankfully. Dialogue, I mean, not really. You just need a bit of a bleep and a bloop here and there, don't you, from somebody. Like, Mayor, there's a tornado destroying our city. What are you going to do? I don't know. Order me another Mai Tai. I'll think about it later. And there we go. We're suddenly in California. All right. Well-designed graphics. Come on. Oh, 15, 16, 17. I think that might be our highest. Let's get rid of those bugs. Come on. Get rid of those bugs. I think that's our highest combo. Well, it is for technology, at least. We've leveled up AI and engine. That's pretty good. Let's get that bad boy out there. Pear Village Epic is going to get a solid 9. Oh, yes. There we go. So basically, it's Sim City. Because that came... Oh, 10! City and simulation is a great combination, obviously. But I'm sure Square's version of it was probably not this great. Although I can't tell. Outstanding game. So we've got 9s and a 10. That should give us some decent money, I think. In fact, we should do a game report on that. Just so that we can use some of that research going forward. Over 50k units sold. Important milestone in the history of Squaresoft. So in this way, the game that no, we're not going to move office. Wow, that was a hit. Jeez. We're not going to move yet, but look, we've got $1.1 million or whatever you want to call this. It won't be yen because that's too small for yen. That's $1.1 million. And how far are we through this Square development? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got 12 games left until Final Fantasy is released. That's pretty good. So we're going to keep going then until we get to that point. Yeah, okay, we sold over 100k units. This has pretty much made us a household name. We got 22 research points. That sounds like new topics to me. Get self-crime. I mean, sure, why not? Surprise hit with players. Fairly new to the gaming scene, but we're rocking it. Yes, we are. Oh, we hit the top 10. My goodness, $1.5 million. And we're still in the top 10. After 171,000 units sold. Okay. Got one more research topic to do. Werewolf? I mean, no, we'll go for hacking, I think, over werewolf. Not sure there's any werewolf games. So the next game is actually a game called Mystery Quest, known in Japanese as Haukun no Fushigi Natabi, or Tabai. It's a platformer. I think this is actually a scam. Yes, let's not go with that. So Mystery Quest, a platformer game, originally developed by Carry Lab with Square Enix on May 11th, 1987. Okay, let's go for that then. I don't think we have platformer, so it would have to be like an action-y game. Do we call it an action game or an adventure? Probably action, right? Yeah. So this is called Mysterious Journeys to Hell. Let's go for that. And this will be a... I mean, from the picture of Mystery Quest, it looks like a dude poking a snake. So I guess mystery. That would work. Mysterious action game for the dying Nintendo Entertainment System. With obviously 2D graphics. Let's go. Gameplay. Yeah, I mean, that looks about right. A bit more storyline, maybe. Okay, scratch our head. Oh, look. Oh dear, the Genesis. That's going to be fun to compete against. We're getting close to the Super Nintendo sort of era right now. Just saying. I mean, this is pretty good, right? A bit more artificial intelligence over level design for an action game. Get rid of those bugs in a minute, that's for sure. Graphics, yeah. Sound, less so on this one. Let's do a graphically overpowered thing. Appletown Story. It does sound, I mean, Mystery Quest does sound really good. I still want to play that Appletown Story, though. It's kind of like, reminds me of Maple Story or something, or like an Animal Crossing game. Maybe that's where they got it from. I don't know. Interesting. Let's get that game out there. Then we've got, oh my god, I can't even read this. No, I don't want to move to a new office yet, please. We've got another research choice. So what have we got? We've got transport. Transport's going to be helpful later on. Mysterious Journeys to Hell reviews came in, and they're not looking too good. Uninspiring. Bin material. Holy moly, that's harsh. Not much fun. And meh. All games is being fair there, I think. But bin material is pretty... That's pretty harsh. Imagine if you put that sticker on the front of your game. But then in this day and age, negative views are going to get you more anyway, aren't they? So, you know, calling something a bin-related game is probably going to get you more than saying it's outstanding. Especially if the advert campaign was like, this game is complete garbage. Go and buy it now for $59.99. Which is pretty much how most of the eShop stuff on the Nintendo Switch is at the moment. Let's see. So the next game we need to develop is actually pretty much a sequel to Deep Dungeon. It's called Yushi no Monsho, which is, yeah, more of the same, I think, as far as I can tell. It's just another role-playing game. They really did put out quite a few weird role-playing games. So we're going to put Shallow Dungeon 2. Electric Potato. Yes, Electric Potato. And this is going to be a crime-related RPG for no particular reason, because it's a crime that I've not played it, probably, for the Nintendo. Again, there's very little work to do. There's very little for me to do. I can't really go and develop stuff outside of my comfort zone, because neither did Squaresoft, apparently. You know, you stick to what you're good at, and I guess you get better at it over time. I suppose that's how it works. But yeah, when you look at their history, their back catalogue of games in the 80s, 90% of them were like action shooter games or RPGs, which isn't a bad thing. It's just surprising to me, to be perfectly honest, how many of these I've never played, and how many of them are probably quite bad, considering the stuff we hear about the game company. You know, for Squaresoft, basically, verging on bankruptcy quite a lot throughout the development process up to Final Fantasy. So yes, I'm curious to see how well Shallow Dungeon 2 Electric Potato does. Let's get that out, get rid of those bugs. We lost 2 fans, like that matters at this point. See, look, we've got big dick money over here, 1.7 mil. We're about to get even more. So our review for Shallow Dungeon 2 is probably going to be atrocious. 6? That's not bad. That's going to give us some decent cash, actually. 6s? Are we just going to go for the 3 6s? Yes, we are. Number of a beast. Represent. And a 5. Thanks. You couldn't be a 6, could you? Scumbags. So what's next? We have King's Night Special. Oh, they really released this in 1987 for the PC 8801. I don't think I have access to it. I guess, I mean, yeah, we kind of have the PC, so we do. Oh my goodness. King's Janitor 2. We'll do that in numerals because we're Squaresoft. All out of bins. We're all out of bins. And it's going to be a martial arts RPG for the PC. Oh, hell yeah. We're all out of bins. So we have to use a dustpan instead. No. The amount of manual labor, my lord. I can see it now. Right, big focus on... Let's do a bit more on artificial intelligence this time. Mix it up a little bit. Meanwhile, Shallow Dungeon 2 is actually 78, like 90 in the world. We're up to nearly 2 million in cash. Which is a little bit silly, isn't it, really? Yes, King's Janitor 2 we're developing on. Let's get that out as fast as possible. More garbage for the garbage gods. Oh, we got a new record for our design, though. That's pretty good. We're nearly level 4 in terms of design. Can we develop a game before the reviews come in? I think we actually can. No, I don't want a new office. No, it's a waste. So the next game they released was Genesis, which it doesn't actually have any info on, so I'm going to presume it's an RPG. The beginning. Let's just call it that. I don't know. An evolution RPG? Because it's called The Beginning. It's on the PC again, so let's get this out here. Meanwhile, reviews for King's Janitor 2 All Out of Bins came back. Really? Outstanding game. Oof. Oh, another 10. It's going to give us some decent money. This is the first time I've ever seen a sequel blow up this well. My new favorite. Wow. Nearly all 10s. It's going to give us some decent money. So we're going to go with that crap. Yeah, more generic sliders in the same position situation for this RPG. Nothing new here. Nothing interesting. Nothing unique or revolutionary. We're going to go back to level design now. Come on. Let's get this out there. Yes. Oh, we got 50 research points I didn't even notice. I'm going to go for a bit more sound this time. The bleeps and bloops from the PC are going to be quite good. So we got pretty much outstanding achievement. This is going to give us... Oh, we're up to 3.3 million in our basement. Rank 1 for however many weeks. We're only just onto rank 2. And it's been how many weeks? Like 5-6 weeks? With almost 300k units sold. Oh my goodness. We're going to get that game out there. Then we're going to go straight into developing another one. Because, you know, you keep shoveling these out. That's how you do it, right? And this is called Aliens Alien 2. This was made for arcade cabinets. Oh, we can't really release that. We don't have arcade. Oh, it was released on the PC. All right, Aliens Alien 2. Science fiction horror franchises have 38 officially licensed video games. This is one of them, developed by Square, believe it or not, on June the 10th, 1987. Alien Scary Time Game 1. Yes. It's going to be a mature audience's game because it's aliens. In fact, we have aliens, don't we? And I think it's a shooter. Oh no, I think it's actually an RPG. Let's go action game in case. It looks a little bit like Doom the more I look at it. And this was released on the PC again. My goodness. Let's get that development going. We should have a review for the beginning, which is basically our version of Genesis. We're getting 5s. Okay, number 5. There's a 4. Okay, apparently. I like it, says somebody at Game Hero, and falls a bit short. Okie dokie. Let's focus on full-on gameplay and a really, really epic engine for this action game with aliens involved. This might actually be a decent aliens game, unlike Colonial Marines. You never know. Alien Isolation was amazing, by the way. I don't know if anyone else has played that. That's the sort of thing we could probably play for this particular channel. Everybody would be scared crapless, including myself. But that's why you would watch it in the first place, I think. Yes. Oh, we got a bug. I mean, full-on graphics, full-on sound. Let's do this. Nice, scary looking game, but sounds amazing. Doesn't matter about the bugs. They can be ironed out, right? The gameplay can be average if the scares are decent and the sound is good. Alien scary game, so we've got 1917, and that's a good combo. Let's go straight into another game. We're up to 4.1 million right now. Cleopatra... No, oh no, sorry. Jikai Shonen Met Mag. Actually, that one doesn't actually say Square Enix on it, so I'm going to skip it. So, Cleopatra no Maho, which I guess would be like the magic of Cleopatra, unless my Japanese translation senses are not tingling correctly. It's a Japanese role-playing game developed and published by Square for the Famicom on July 24th, 1987. Composed by Nobuo Uematsu. Again, wow. And it's just this beautiful picture of Cleopatra on the front with lots of sphinxes and things. Interesting. So, magical Egyptian girls unite. Yeah, we'll do like a magical girls thing. That could be for everyone. And it can be a mythology again. I guess it has to be another RPG because that's all we're really making. And that came out on the NES again. All right, we're nearly done with NES games, and then we can get a new office at 4 million. There we go. So Alien Scary Game came in, the reviews, and they're looking pretty good. We got a 10. And the next one, a solid 10 again. Come on, give us another 10. Oh, come on. Oh, 9? Really? Everyone else gave us a 10. Masterpiece. That's going to make us some decent money, I think. Okay, Mythology RPG, so gameplay, story quests. 4 million. Keep watching that number. Oh, the SNES is on the way. The Super Famicom. Oh, it's going to be good. We're getting close, guys. We're getting close. And then we've got... Actually, we've still got all these games before the Super Nintendo comes out. All the way up to Final Fantasy IV. We're just going to be behind developing for an old console until we basically overshoot it. And there'll be... Oh, no. Oh, no, we're gonna destroy the Final Fantasy franchise. Oh, no. Oh, that's not going to be good. We're going to have to skip some games. We've made the games too popular. We're running out of stuff before Final Fantasy. But we've taken too much time because things were successful. We've altered the past to the point where there's no Final Fantasy games in the future if we're not careful. And instead we get alien shooting games and mythology RPGs with magical Egyptian girls. What have I done? No. Yeah, the shooty game actually went down really well, apparently. One of the best games ever made. We're on 5.8 million. We're rank 1 in the games charts at the minute with that game. Jesus. Got a new record for design there, up to 19. No, we don't want a new office. Go away. I don't want to go there until Final Fantasy is a thing. That's the purpose of this. So next we have, what is this? Oh, we have a racing game. Oh no, I don't think we have any racing games. We have all of this stuff unlocked though, but game dev, that's a bit egotistical. Let's just spend all of this research as fast as we possibly can. Ooh, Magical Egyptian Girls came back. What have we got? Solid 10s again. Oh no, 9. Come on, someone give us a 10. Come on. Oh yeah, I love you, Informed Gamer. I hated you earlier, but they're focused on world design service game very well. Everyone loves it. Lovely jubbly. So that's going to be another massive hit, look. Oh my goodness, look at the amount of units in the first day. That's rank 1. The Super Nintendo's out, which, I mean, we're way behind schedule. Way behind schedule. So we've got a racing game, but we don't have racing unlocked, so we need to... School? Just gonna have to research any old dross before we can actually get to the racing games. I'm determined to fulfill this list and see how different we end up being. Oh my goodness. So we're rank 1 with the Egyptian Girls game now. To 8.2 million. Where's the research? Sports games? I mean, there's a few, I think, actually, isn't there, on the Square library? They did a lot of stuff back then. A lot of different genres. Now it's, I mean... Yeah, they were all mostly RPGs, though, weren't they? I'm imagining that even the sport one would be an RPG at this point. We got 50 more, so that's 5 more researchers farming. Let's get that. Rank 2 now. It's nearly 300,000 units. Oh, wow. It's off the market. And it's sold... How many... Oh, wow. 1.7 million in sales and 250,000 units. I mean, that's pretty good for back then. I mean, if you had a big studio, that would be enormous as a hit. But as far as I'm concerned, we're still in the 80s. Even though the SNES is out, and yeah, that's like 1990s. So we're messing with time a little bit here, a bit of time compression. We're not going to get a racing game, are we? I just can't seem to get racing to appear. We've got military. Oh no, now there's rumors about the PlayStation. Oh no, time is going too fast in this game. Yeah. We all know about the development and the disagreement, and then they went separate and Sony made this PlayStation, and then the arguments came, blah, 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 blah. We know history game. We're playing through it to try and prevent problems of the future. But in reality, we've basically ended up... No, I don't want a new office. We've basically wiped Final Fantasy off the potentiality for the future. Oh no, we've got 2 months and then the Nintendo Entertainment System leaves forever. So we have a racing game to choose from, an action RPG called Kale no Tsurugi. We have Nakayama Miho no Tokimi High School, which is a dating sim. I think we'll skip that. Okay, so we've got time for like one more game. Well, it's got to be the action RPG, hasn't it? Actually, no. Here we are. We've got to release Final Fantasy, otherwise it will never be released, because it released in December the 18th, 1987, the first Final Fantasy on the NES. And if we don't get it on the NES, then I don't think we're ever going to see a Final Fantasy in the future. Here we go then. We've got to put all guns blazing. This is going to be, I mean, what we're going to call it? Last Dream, because it's like a fantasy. That's my Final Fantasy, okay? And this is going to be... We don't even have, like, anything that even remotely suits Final Fantasy on here. Military, school, sports... It's going to be a... I mean, mythology is the only thing that's close. We've been dealt a really weird thing here. A mythology RPG for the NES. Last Dream. See, a lot of the stuff that led up to Final Fantasy being released didn't happen in this playthrough. It probably would have never existed. So Last Dream wasn't the Last Dream. It wasn't the Final Fantasy. Yes, you can interview me. Oh, come on. Hype the game. Yes! We got an interview. We got 27 hype. We're going to put all of our stuff into dialogue this time. We're going to make it the best damn looking game ever made. It's going to have music by Nobuo Uematsu. It's going to be a classic. Come on. Like the original was. That kickstarted an entire series of never-ending games and single-handedly carried an entire company to become the publisher mega giant that consumes everyone it is today. Sound is going to be higher than that. I'm sorry. This is a true build-up to see if we've actually managed to build a better game than the original, or if we end up selling less copies. Let's go. 81 hype. It's a mythology RPG, which is not true at all. We've got 21 for design. That's a new record. And we leveled up our AI. There's no way of actually like hyping up the game either or doing press interviews other than the one we got. Come on, Last Dream. Be a good game. A 5. Oh no. We've seen better. Another RPG mythology game. Oh, that's right, because I made some earlier. It could have been better. 6. Nice experience. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Because if you were a board of directors and you saw a shooting game get you like nearly $8 million, and then you see this thing that's going to be ranked 49 in the first week, up to 58 in the second week, and only selling up to 15,000 units, which is still pretty decent, let's be honest. That last-ditch effort on a dying console wasn't a last-ditch effort in my playthrough. So single-handedly, we have officially killed Final Fantasy by going back in time. So in the future, Square Enix is literally going to be a developer prioritizing shooting games and really mediocre action RPGs, as opposed to the actual proper fantasy RPGs that we're used to. So there we go. And that was my video. I've single-handedly destroyed Square Enix. And all it took was to be successful where you didn't want to be successful. Whether or not any of this would be reflective of actual, events, how they would happen, probably not, but it's a lot of fun. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing it. I wanted to play the game, I wanted to record it, and I wanted to upload it. I don't care if it gets 2 views or 200. If you liked it, leave me a like. If you don't, then, dislike it or don't watch it. Thank you kindly for watching, and I'll see you all next time. It's time to move on up and make some shooting games, apparently. Oh, God, no. More Alien sequels. At least then, I guess we live in a future where there's no alien colonial marines, and I'm fine with this.